What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of This Ain't Your Ordinary podcast with your girl, your host, Rissa G. This is episode 12. I want to say 12. How are y'all doing? Let's check in. How y'all feeling? My knee just started hurting out of nowhere. Goodness. That's how I'm doing. Does that mean it's going to rain? Am I being promoted to a wise elder? Because it hurts so much right now, but they said it was going to rain. Am I being promoted? Okay. I don't know. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. I hope you guys had enough water to drink today. Yeah. Thank y'all for rocking with your girl, sticking with your girl. Let's hop into this episode, shall we? This is another listener question being answered. Well, I think two questions actually. So the first question that was asked, I don't know your name. But if this was you, please leave a comment and I will give you your credit. I don't want to steal your credit. I'm saying this is not my question. All right, cool. Can men and women, boys and girls, be platonic friends? That is the question. Yes. All right, next question. No, I'm messing with y'all. Yeah, oh boy. Yes, you can be. But the way we've been raised societally, or let me just say, in society, the way we have been raised is to not just be very aware of the differences between men and women, but I believe to over-sexualize them. Growing up, just the way you're supposed to act around boys, carry yourself around boys, carry yourself around men. It's the sexualizing of a dynamic. That is what happened to us as kids. So now you're growing up thinking every boy I have to be aware of as a girl. Not just that there's potential, but like there's a sexualizing here. It's not pure. It's tainted by the unspoken, by the thing grandmoms used to tell me about, by the thing my mother used to tell me about, by the thing my aunt used to tell me about. It's been tainted. And I think that has tainted the ability for men and women, boys and girls, to have purely platonic relationships, because stemming from when you were a child, you were viewed to see this person as a sexual being first and foremost, not a person. And look, I'm a single woman. So I get the idea of potentials, but when we're talking about friends, if you're already an established friend, wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry for that technical difficulty, guys. Had to answer an important phone call. But yeah, I don't remember where I was, but yeah, the over-sexualizing of relationships has tainted the potential for people to be in purely platonic relationships. Not to say that you can't have that, but you have to be very intentional and potentially rewire things. Because sometimes you may overthink things and this and that. And I think where I was at is that I am a single woman and I understand the idea of, new men entering your life being potentials, new men. But the people in your life, like the men in my life, like those are my bros. Like, they're safe around me. I'm not sexualizing them. I look at them as like my brothers. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think you can evaluate people as they come in, but I think once you have an established relationship set with the person, why can't it be platonic? Like, I like all my friends. I love all my friends. Like, but like it's platonic. I don't know. If you're struggling with that, if you're viewing all of your current friends in like a sexualized way, I think you are the problem is one. And two, I think you ought to evaluate why. Like, don't overreact. Don't think, oh my God, I'm a bad friend. Like, no, like there's so many reasons for why you could be viewing your friends in that particular light. So if I were you, I would just evaluate why it is I view my friends, all of my friends, all, not just one, all. That's too much. No. Why is it I view my friends in this particular light? And work on that, because you need friends, and it's a tough position to put yourself in, to have feelings for all of your friends, or like be sexually attracted to all your friends. That's a tough one. But I do think over sexualized men and women, male and female relationships are a thing. And you see that in church. I'm not trying to make this a church topic, but you do see like how it is men and women interact. It's so crunchy. Like, I don't know how to describe it besides crunchy and awkward, because we have over sexualized men and women in general, specifically in the church, women. And the idea of us doing anything alone together, us riding in the car together, it's like, no, this is uncomfortable. But why? You know, like, I'm not saying go anywhere and everywhere with any random man if you're a woman, or any random woman if you're a man. I'm not saying that. Like, be accountable, be responsible, be logical, be smart, be safe, of course. But I am also saying not every interaction with a man or a woman has to be like categorized by y'all's sexuality. That's just my point of view, because I think that does end up tainting it. That's why it becomes hard to have platonic relationships, because every man is sexualized, or every woman is sexualized. Yeah, like, that's my take. But the answer is yes. And if you're, again, like, if you're struggling, that's all right. Just work on it. Why are you struggling? What specifically got you messed up from the head up? So yeah, that's my take on that. What is love? The question is, what is love? I almost didn't want to answer this. But I'm gonna read a scripture, and then we're gonna move from there. Maybe for my first time reading scripture here. All right, so what is love? So I'm going to be reading 1 Corinthians 13, starting from verse 4. This is the NIV. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. I'm gonna keep reading. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. That was 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 13. Okay, so just flatly, what is love? That's love. That's the definition of love. All right, that's the definition I am abiding by. That's the definition I am using. Okay, so now that we have a descriptor, let me also say what love is not. Love is not a feeling. Love is not the butterflies in your tummy. Yikes. That's not love. He made me feel so good inside. That's not love. So, love is an action. Love is not a feeling or an emotion. Those can be described by hormones and by scientific things going on in your body that's awakened by something going on over there. Love is an action. Love is a choice. Do you need more? I think I do think this is a hot take. I think once you separate love from your feelings, it puts love in a certain space. Because let me give y'all my hot take on love. This is my hot take, Sharissa Gall's hot take, mine. Okay, I don't believe love requires intimacy. I'm gonna let that marinate. I'm gonna say it again though. I don't believe love requires intimacy. Yeah. And I say that because if you're a Christian and you're living according to the Bible, as I am, we're called to love damn near everybody. I don't know who don't fall under the scheme of loving. Love your neighbors, love your enemies. Who's in between? If it ain't your neighbor, who else is there? Like the faraway person? We're called to love our neighbors. We're called to love our enemies. You don't need to see the depths of my heart, or I don't need to see the depths of your heart to love you. That's not the call. The call isn't to befriend or to be in relationship with everybody, but we're called to love everybody. I believe relationship requires intimacy. I don't believe love requires intimacy. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? So God loved the world that hated him, that despised him. A world where there was many who did not have a relationship with him. Okay, so I don't think relationship is not necessary for love, but intimacy is also not necessary for love. You can love if love is a choice, then there is no context or pretext necessary for love. It's a choice, meaning you can do it when you choose to do it. Meaning I don't have to like you or feel any type of way about you to love you. It's a choice. Whenever I choose to do it, no matter what, I can do it. So love is not romantic. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be in any context. You love your friend, you love your family, you love your partner. Like, so that's my take on love. I think we're called, if you're a Christian, I think you're called to love everybody. Love is patient. Like the things that are categorized within love are how we are supposed to treat people. We are supposed to live a life of love. We're supposed to love on people. I think, and I think that's why I say it doesn't require intimacy to be patient with somebody. It doesn't require intimacy to be kind to somebody. It doesn't require intimacy to honor somebody, respect somebody, not keep a record of wrong. Like it takes the fruit of the spirit, sure, absolutely. It takes growth, it takes maturity, it takes discipline, absolutely, but I don't believe it takes intimacy. And I think once you stop, this is me in my opinion, I think once you stop putting so many prerequisites on your love and holding your love hostage, yikes, I feel like it's easier to let that thing go. Oh, not everybody's deserving of my love. But why? Like, why not treat everyone from a place of love? I don't know. These are just my random thoughts. These are my perspectives. Why not? Why not? And again, I am single like a Pringle and ready to mingle. But I have friends, I have family. I try. I try to love my family well. I try a lot, really hard to love my friends well. And I hope that I do it justice. I'm growing and learning every day, but I try to love them well. I try to love people who have disrespected me well, people who have hurt me. I try to love them well. So many different people. Like I get emotional thinking about it because it's man, love is like it's hardcore, man. It's hardcore. And I don't think love is for the weak. If I'm being honest, And I'm not talking just about I'm just loving anyone in general. Like love is like that thing is a commitment. Like to love somebody. Like when I hear married couples talk about their marriage, they make it very clear like you have to be committed to the commitment. That is it. That is how the marriage maintains, not the butterflies, not the feelings. I'm choosing you every day and I'm going to stay committed to being committed to you. And I think like outside marriage, that's how love is. Like I'm making a choice to stick by this thing, to stick by, I'm gonna stick beside him, like to stick to you. I'm choosing you continuously. And maybe that's what makes love so beautiful, to know it's optional, to know it's beyond a feeling that's uncontrollable, to know that it is a controllable action that I choose to enact in. Yeah, that is actually pretty interesting. So yeah, that's my take on love. I don't know. I hope that was enough for you. I don't know if there was another question, I think, about relationships. But I'm gonna just touch on that real quick because we're talking about love and platonic friends. Like I said, I'm single, like a Pringle, ready to mingle. And I'm gonna speak from the single perspective, man. And I talked about this in a previous pod, I think a couple of episodes ago. Man, work on you. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm not saying, you know, you're gonna be alone forever. You're gonna die alone. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I had to pause and evaluate my life and evaluate the constructs in my mind. I consider myself a deconstructionist of anything and of everything. I consider myself a builder. So I like to deconstruct things in my mind and rebuild it with like truth. So I deconstruct lies and rebuild it with truth. And what I had to do not that long ago, is sit and evaluate my life and evaluate the things that it is I desired and why I desired them. Where was that coming from? And my fear, if y'all haven't gotten it by now, I'm not trying to be a societal product. I'm not trying to be a cultural product. I don't want to become something because that's what my society and my culture dictates. I refuse to be that person. So I sat down and I said, I'm going to pray and really think and consider, do I want to get married? Do I want to have kids? I know it sounds crazy. Yeah. But you, from as a little girl, like you are so conditioned to want these things. Like you almost don't have another choice. So I wanted to make sure, okay, these are things that I want for me, not because this is what my family is pumping down my throat or what my society or my culture is pumping down my throat, but this is because I want this. So I took months and really like evaluate, pray, like left the door open for other possibilities because I am not married to that dream, because I'm not even sure it's my dream. So that's one of the steps I did. And I was like, I love with somebody's son, you know what I'm saying? And popping out babies or having kids in whatever many other ways. So that's a conclusion that I came to after like pausing and reevaluating a desire. And I think like stuff like that, like being intentional while you're single is so great. It's so important. Work on you, work on your constructs, work on your expectations, work on your dreams. Like I watch a lot of content by married couples. Why? Because I'm trying to see y'all journey to the marriage, and I'm trying to see your journey since that day you made that commitment and how that commitment has continued. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to hear about sex between marriage couples. I'm very curious. And to learn, like, man, like y'all think sex is gonna be magical when you find the person. But it takes time. It takes time. In my head, I'm thinking, damn, you know, like we're about to bump and grind, you know, on your honeymoon. Like, okay, but also like it takes time to figure out each other's bodies. It takes time to learn each other. It takes time for all these different things. And that's something I'm learning. So that's an expectation that's being like destroyed. And I think like killing certain expectations and just leaving your mind and your heart open to so much more, I think is freeing. It's like taking off all these filters of like, what you're looking for in a person. So I think like that has been really helpful for me, just learning and listening, like just soaking in and gleaning from married couples, wholesome married couples, has been extremely beneficial. Like I said, I'll always say it, work on yourself. I said it many times before, I'm going to say it again, keep working on yourself, keep growing, keep healing. You don't have to be perfect to be with somebody, but while you're by yourself, man, be selfish, work on you, take time for you. Like, it's nice. Look, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, you want to cuddle about you, sure, but like it's also nice to like have a certain freedom to your life where it's like I don't really have to, check in with like any particular person. Like, let my friends know when I'm out and about. But like, I could do whatever I want, whenever I want, if it's pleasing unto me, you know? And so it is nice to not have to necessarily be bound by that. Now, sir, if you're listening, if you are him, I'm not saying, neither, but I'm content. Like I'm happy. Like I'm enjoying this freedom. It'll look different if but I'm enjoying this freedom, and I think finding that contentment and that happiness. Yeah, of course there are ups and downs. Of course, hormones. Have you met them? Of course there's ups and downs, but for the most part, the highlight of this, whatever, I don't want to call it a season, but where I'm at in life, this point in my journey is to be content and happy with where you're at, with what you got. So that's my recommendation to anybody. Like, just work on yourself, heal, grow. Like, bro, healing is so much work. It is so much work, and it's taxing and it's tiring, and it's a labor, man. It is a labor, but in healing, there's such a freedom that comes with it. So heal, grow, grieve dreams that you thought would happen. I thought I would be married by 23. I am 23. That is something, y'all laughing at me, but that's really something that I believe. And I'm like, damn, by 25, I'm gonna have at least one child. Still got time, but like, it's not looking too good. The way the math is mathing, we don't have that much longer. So that's another dream, that you gotta mourn. But that's part of life, and that's part of growing, because life is not what you would have expected and or anticipated, and that's okay. But go with the flow of life. See where life is taking you. Grieve dreams that you have lost and embrace new realities. Don't be so stuck up for what it is you envisioned your life would be. I feel like that's how you miss out on the best parts of life. I think the best parts of life are the unexpected. Like, I didn't even think to pray about that. Like I didn't even know I wanted that, but I love it now that it's here. Like, I don't know, like that feels much better. And I feel like, I've tried to embrace that. I'm a planner. That's who I am. I am a planner, and I struggle with spontaneous things and all that good stuff. But I'm growing and I'm learning, and I'm trying to embrace the flow and the current of life, and to not be so pressed for specific destinations, but to go wherever life takes me, wherever God leads me, and just go with the flow. And that is my perspective now with relationship. I'm trying not to be too stuck up on that, like, and that's with the FOMO too. You gotta be careful with that. Like, man, like if it's for me, yeah, like if this is God's will for me, like, yeah, like I'm gonna just wait on it. I'm gonna continue to work. I'm gonna continue to grow. Like, that doesn't stop. And I'm not doing that for nobody's son. I'm doing that for me. I'm gonna continue to be a good friend. I'm gonna continue to steward all that I have now well, regardless of what's to come. Remember, we talked about, regardless of what I anticipate my future will bring, I'm going to be a good steward of what I have now. You know what I'm saying? And whatever comes, it comes. So anyway, that's the episode. Love you guys. Be well, be safe, be smart. Y'all made any friends yet? Wow. But anyways, y'all, it's been real. Peace.